Okay.
We can also cut it out too if you don't like it. Or if I'm like, this dude trying to one up me, I'm gonna cut this out.
Fuck.
What the fuck?
Is this food trying to show me up
Whose
right
show
now?
is this? This is not his show. This is my show.
Yeah.
This is my show.
Because yesterday I was like practicing with ChatGPT.
Oh, it was asking you questions?
Yeah, I was like, ask me questions like you're Adrian Huerta. And then
No.
it was interviewing me, and then like
What were the questions? Like, what are you wearing?
And I was just like, can you explain that question better? Because some of them were just like, I was like, damn, I hope he doesn't ask that. Jeez.
So I already got replaced by AI.
Pretty much. I already had the podcast yesterday. I'll send you the video. And it was great too. So I hope you live up to the podcast I had yesterday in my car.
Welcome to part 2 of my sit down with Artos Saucedo, co-owner and co-creator of Open Gallery in Long Beach, California. Artos is a journeyman that shared almost half of his creative development with his son. We're continuing some topics from the last episode and starting new ones, including the lonely side of fatherhood, enjoying the sweet art put on the Open Gallery walls, and what it's like watching his teenage son chase creative dreams of his own. Please enjoy the continuation of our Creative Dad Pod interview with Artos Saucedo.
You know what? Let's talk about fandom. This is one thing that I never got to talk about, and I hate that I do, considering that I used to help run a gallery, and create the content.
Okay.
It was my way of expressing the fandom because I wouldn't waste my, no offense to anybody else that had been in Altura that I didn't get to spend time with.
Wait, what's fandom?
You know, being a fan of the work that comes in.
Beautiful.
I mean, you have a gallery, and you have a bunch of cool shit coming in. Do you ever get to like give yourself time to, like indulge?
Heck yeah.
In it? Like, do you get to be a fan of the gallery?
Oh my gosh. Well, yes, of the artwork, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I get to, when I lock up, after a gallery shift or after an opening, like I just love to sit there on our bench that we have in there and just stare at some stuff in the quiet. People probably walking by like, this dude's sitting in the middle of the gallery staring at the paintings on his own.
No, they're just walking by like art, and then they just walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Art.
Like, that's art. I'm like, yeah. Who?
Hi.
Hey, I'm Artos.
I'm art. Yeah, Artos.
Oh, yes, this is art. Yeah, but it's so cool to be able to, and it's insane how many different styles there are, and how like good people are at their unique styles, and where they're at in their career, and how they're so freaking brave to be an artist and to just keep going with it. It's intense. Mm. It's intense.
Do you is one of your favorite parts opening when they get here? Like opening the package they send?
Yes.
Like this is the first time this is seeing.
I love when I just have that last wrapper to open because I get too like anxietied out. Like, okay, I got to go through the cardboard, then the foam, then the bubble wrap. So when I get to that final stage, it's so satisfying just to be able to like open that last layer and like, oh, this is what they did for this show. Like, it's incredible. And then sometimes, like a lot of times it's more on theme than what I wrote for the theme, like they nailed it.
Right.
It's incredible. Shout out to all the artists for spending that much time, they so much alone time working on their projects to themselves, on their pieces and executing and sometimes letting that baby go that they created into new hands, into a new home, and knowing they might not ever see it again. Hopefully they do. Hopefully they stay in touch with the collectors. We definitely try to keep everyone in touch.
I went to the reopening.
Oh, what? Dude, thank you.
Yeah.
Is that where we chatted briefly?
No, I went to the opening and I didn't talk to anybody. Because I do that sometimes.
You were just
I just go
locked in?
Yeah, I just want to look at the art and,
Beautiful.
and enjoy the people.
I love it.
Just go. And then the other time my wife and my kid came on a weekend that we were down here. And then that's when we talked. Because I think you were also
They came with you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because they were like, you were also Lito just on your computer. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go talk to that guy.
No way.
And then we talked. And I was like, oh, you got a kid. That's cool, man. And then we just kind of meshed, I guess. Or that's what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think
Dude,
that's
thank you for bringing bringing the fam.
Yeah.
It's always so cool because I think in this area there's not a lot of people searching for galleries, like normal foot traffic walking by, like, oh, this is an area to come see some artwork. So we'll get random people passing by and they'll stop in, like a mother with her daughter.
Oh, cool.
Two sisters, two brothers, two friends. Like, what is this? They'll like peek their head in, and you can tell that they really want to come in, but they're not used to seeing galleries in this area.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, come in. Like it's a gallery. Feel free to take a look.
That's so crazy though, because like geographically, like a couple blocks over, you do have like a busy street like that have little shops and stuff, which is so crazy.
Very true.
Because it changes a couple blocks. And I mean, even down the street, there's a couple of artist lofts, but like they're by themselves on this street.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that hard. Like people like, so the way you do it, you network and you promote, it's all social media, right?
And we bring people to the area. That's our hopes anyways. Because when we moved into the area this building in 2018 or 2017, right around there. There was nothing like that going on right here, specifically in this area. So, I mean, there is, a couple of museums nearby, but of course it's not like the walking distance type of vibe. No. So to hope that one day we would be able to bring foot traffic is still like a challenge we're working on. Yeah. But we just try to make it interesting enough. We try to make each show interesting enough to the public that they'll be down to take the drive from, further in LA County, Orange County, because we're kind of in between those, those cities.
Yeah, I do realize that people that live in Long Beach and go to Long Beach State have a lot of pride in Long Beach.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do see,
yeah,
I see a lot of artists that love to just wear that pride, and I appreciate it. But the idea that you're trying to venture out is good too, because it helps them. It helps Long Beach. It helps.
I think that's one of our goals to, have, some locals in each show, but have some, people from overseas, have some people from LA County, have some people, from other states, and just mix everyone up, because some people are going to, be from backgrounds that don't have resources or voices. And then other people are from backgrounds that have plenty of resources and more attention, or they've been doing it for a longer time. So to be able to like intertwine all these folks and be a bridge, I guess, which we hope we can be, is definitely one of our goals. That's
So you used to live here, like you raised a child in an art gallery
next door to the gallery.
Right. But I mean, even more so, a screen printing shop.
It was a live-in workspace at the beginning.
Right.
Screen printing in the front and family time in the back.
Right. Do you see the influence that you had on your kid creatively?
I think so. Well, one good thing would be that like I can ask him, hey, what do you think about this? And he'll be like, the colors are off, or
wait, how old is he?
14.
Okay.
I'll be like, oh, what do you think about this design or this layout? He's like, oh, it's cool. Like I can tell his feedback is like, it's cool, or it's like, oh, that's cool.
Okay.
And I'm like, right, I got
free market research.
Free market from a 14-year-old. So and I think he's sharpened his eye from being around art, and had sharpened his ears from growing up in music studios and around, percussionist friends and just being on the beat machine since he could hold his head up. It's a beautiful thing. So someone asked me if I get to see myself or my dreams in where he's at now. And I was just like, oh crap, I never thought of it like that.
And what's the answer?
Yeah, I do. But I definitely want him to figure things out, interests for himself. I'm here for like resources and things like that, and networks and advice all the time. But what road he's gonna take, that's the one for him to figure out.
Are you proud of his work? The stuff he's done. He's a creative himself.
Yes.
Do you have an opinion of it? I mean, he gives you his opinion where it's like, that's cool.
Yeah, it's funny. He'll like He has like it's like a walk-in closet under the stairs that go over us at our apartment building. So it's a big closet. We call it like his Harry Potter closet because he's like under the stairs. And he'll come out from like, because it has 2 doors, and he'll open the door and he'll just be like, he'll just give me like this smirk grin eyes, and then I'm just like, what, you made a banger or what? He's like, yeah.
Nice.
He's like, check this out.
Hell yeah.
He'll bring his phone, and then he'll just like, he'll start playing the beats for me, and then we'll just be both like right there just vibing out to it. And yeah, I'm pretty critical of hip hop. You know, it's what I grew up with.
Right.
From my dad, he used to always play hip hop.
Okay.
Uncles.
Oh, your dad was a hip hop guy?
He was into funk, hip hop, soul.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you know, because they grew up out here from a young age.
Mm-hmm.
So so it's fun to be like, dude, you're pretty good.
So some of your background in creativity is studios and producing and beat making and all that's engineering.
Yes.
In the audio world. Complete transparency.
Mm-hmm.
Is your kid good?
Absolutely. It's crazy. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, he's dope. I obviously not everything is good. Not, you know, even later on, he'd be like, what was I thinking? Like, I remember a couple of times he texted me his beat because he was at his grandparents' house, and he always used to take his beat stuff with him. And he's like, my best beat ever. I think that was the title of the beat. And I was just like, I listened to it and I'm like he's got a long way to go.
Did you tell him that?
No, I was like, dude, this is dope. I was like, heck
how do you navigate that? You know, that's why I asked you for complete transparency, because I know it's your son and there's a little bit of like hesitation, to be completely honest.
I know at some point he's going to like get way better, and then he's going to look back on it and like have a chuckle, or it'll just be a cool memory. He like, because recently he listened to it, he's like, oh, what was I thinking? My best beat ever? He's like, what is this? He would just start clowning himself, like, what the hell was that? What kind of drum beat? Like,
but didn't you used to do that to yourself too? Like,
absolutely.
I know. Yeah.
But I think where I stopped in my beat production is kind of where he's at now, and better. Okay. So it's interesting, and it's like, it's a proud dad moment to be like, dude, you're like, you like passed me up already.
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome. No.
Yeah.
It's your fault though.
That what?
That he's better than you.
It's my fault. I know.
Your fault.
I'm the only one to blame.
Yeah. You did this to yourself.
I know.
I'm glad you don't hate him for it.
No, I'm so stoked on it.
You're like,
yeah, because I get to jam with him too.
Okay.
And I also get to learn, because he'll learn how to write music, write chord progressions, and like, so how do you do that? Or what does writing a song in that key mean? Like, what is it kind of? And so he'll be able to tell me now, because these are all things I'm like mentioned to him, but I haven't fully been able to learn. And then he'll just take that and like, boom, just learn it quick.
Hell yeah.
It's so dope.
Well, it's that youthful spirit and energy, right?
It's that raw spirit. Yeah, he's connected to the source, you know. He's just like, he just pick up and draw from the creativity so easily.
Do you coach him in that regard, where it's like, go ahead and lock in, or do you tell him don't lock in, that's too much? Like, how do you navigate that? Because that's pretty interesting, because he's old enough to understand and take critical information.
Yeah.
But also, what is the end goal for him, you know?
Yeah, I think I even saw someone commented on his TikTok like, this is dope, but it's scary, because where do you go from here as a kid? And I was like, oh shit, I never thought of that. And then I'm like, that's so true, because you don't, you know, sometimes plateauing is a thing early on. You know, there's people talk about like, oh, he plateaued in high school, or you know, this and that. So I want to make sure I let him know now that again, going back to like, take time to make memories, just enjoy your friends, enjoy your youth. It's going to go by quick, and work on having a quiet mind. I think a quiet mind is the best place to be. So skills are always going to sharpen, you know, they're always there if you keep dabbling with them, but yeah, take some time to just chill out. You know, we're going to we'll get there. You'll cross that bridge at some point. So
Right.
yeah. And it's scary though, cause I don't have a career. I can't speak from a career perspective. Like, oh, when you get to this stage in music, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. So making sure I'm there with him to be available when he has to navigate certain challenges or confusing things. And, luckily we have a bunch of really cool friends who've killed it in the music scene. So, maybe hopefully we'll be able to chat with them about certain things.
Like, I guess you have all this time to be a dad, which is a choice, and a good dad. Sounds like.
Thank you, dude.
I mean, this is from what you tell me. You could be lying.
I probably, Don't ask him.
I'll ask Liz. I'll be like, is he a good dad? No. You seem like you're a really good dad. It seems like your son is on a really good track. You had your kid pretty early, right? You were 23 years old.
22.
22, 23. But things change at those points. And you decided to I mean, it's a decision, right? Being a father is a decision. You decided to get in there and be a dad. But that comes with sacrifice.
Yes.
We're talking
all
work,
kinds of stuff.
creativity, relationships. What was that like? And it's been 14 years because your son's 14 now.
Right.
Has it changed, and how has it changed?
Yeah. At the beginning, it was kind of just, him being born and then realizing like I don't get to be the same dude with my homies anymore or with my cousins or with family because, or my creative pursuits because there's a child here now and he needs his father. He deserves his father. It was in his choice to be born. It's a beautiful thing. And here he is. And I was so attached to him since the moment he was born. But yeah, so from there on, it's kind of like, friends start dropping because I can't go hang out with them on a whim.
Right.
I can't go paint with the homies anymore. I can't go chill with people while they're doing murals, or can't go to the carne asadas anymore. So much. And it made things so freaking lonely because I didn't know what I was going through. I didn't realize that my friends were dropping off like flies. I didn't realize any of that. I just figured like, I can't go with them. That was all that was in my head.
Right.
But hindsight's 2020. Now I look back on it and I realize I was just in a different world at that point than they were in. They were free. They could make their own choices. Family was being a family guy was then making the choices for me. So, which now I'm so freaking appreciative of, because who knows, like maybe I dodged some bullets, by being inside with the fam and learning how to, when he was 2 years old, this is the first time we got into business, 2013, and then developing what it means to be in business and learning all these new skills. How do you shoot content? How do you create brand identities? How do you create small systems for customer support, for shipping, for market research, like all these little things? How do you write stories about your brand? And I learned all that through my 20s because I had a kid. It's kind of weird to tie it back to that. So I'm super grateful these days. I can see it with the more optimism, but back then it was a freaking lonely time. I just, being a good father made it a lonely time. That's kind of whack to say, but yeah, it turned out for the best.
I remember hearing that was a thing, like that was a characteristic of being a father. And I was like, nah, I'm never gonna be like that. I'm not gonna be like that. And it's hard because there's capacity. And me, from my experience, starting to be a dad older, you don't have the energy to do that. I think that you were able to still creatively progress and do your own kind of thing, because when you're like younger, you have so much more energy,
Makes sense.
Raise your kid. I still have some energy to try things and learn things and progress ideas. Because nowadays I don't think that I would I was in over my head
Mm.
in trying to be involved in an art gallery.
Wow.
Where I was lucky enough to have friends and partners that were doing their work and their job.
Yeah.
But like what I wanted to give, I felt like I was either holding back or I wasn't giving it what I could that I thought I should be giving.
Mm. Wait, your son was born already?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we started the gallery in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
opened in December of 2021.
Okay.
My son was born in January of 2022.
Okay. Yeah.
And
jeez.
yeah, and to go in that, I mean, it again, it's not like I went at it alone and there were other people doing other jobs,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I loved it,
Mhm.
but also I love my kid. And I knew that, like, especially after having a kid, my social life was the gallery. It was only when we had shows or I was there to be there for open gallery that those were the only times I was being social, because I wasn't going out. If I wasn't at the gallery, I was at home.
Mm.
Or if I wasn't at home, I was at work. So those were the only ways I was socializing. And I knew if the gallery went away, I wasn't going to be social anymore.
And then on the top of your mind to socialize is like you being a dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I talk about my
you
kid
want to talk
now?
about being my kid?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Whenever I took my kid around, it was great because like he's super cute. He's
Aw.
really good looking, and people love to see him and talk to
love
him.
it.
And then I'll be like, I have nothing to say. I'm terrible at this. This is
Yeah.
when I had anxiety.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, okay, thanks, bye. You know, really awkward.
I feel it.
But to experience that and know that is it's power, it's knowledge, and it's great. But I was definitely wrong in thinking that I could handle all of it, and I'm okay with that.
How you can handle all of what?
Being a dad, having friends, being social,
You thought you could handle
Yeah.
it no problem?
right? But I
Mm.
couldn't. It was causing problems. It was causing problems everywhere. You know, the frustrations come from not being able to give everything that I have everywhere that I want.
Yeah.
You know, so if I couldn't give everything I wanted to the gallery, I'd be frustrated at home. If I couldn't give
Oof.
everything that I wanted at home, I'd be frustrated at the gallery.
Gosh, that's
If
so
I
real.
couldn't give everything that I wanted to both, I'd be frustrated at work.
Mm.
And it showed, right?
Mhm.
At least I recognize that and I
Mhm.
know it, right?
Was anyone there to let you know, hey, like
My wife.
I think you're overwhelmed
My wife.
or something.
My wife is my partner is a sweetheart, and I love her to death for it. And, yeah, either that or losing clients,
Jeez.
because X, Y, and Z, whatever the issues were. And I would look back and think like, oh man, like I played that terrible. I did that wrong. But then also not knowing how to go back and like apologize and like do that stuff because we don't know how to do that,
That's
or I
so
don't.
real. I'm
Um,
working on that so hard.
and to look back and think like,
I'm sorry,
oh,
guys. I'm
this could have
sorry.
been different. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back and say sorry, on
Mhm.
some of those and apologize. Not just business wise, but like even, relationship wise,
Mhm.
or, apologize for not being able to, be where I wanted to be.
Mm.
But then that's weird too, because like I am where I want to be, right? Like I want to be a dad and I love being a dad.
Gosh. It's so
Um,
complicated.
Yeah. But it's just understanding. I think finally now that I'm 40, I understand that there's capacity and
Okay.
it changes with age and time and how you balance things out. But also your choices. Where do you want your energy?
I'm trying to grasp that.
Mhm.
So I have 3 more years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Right.
I'll be on your level,
Right.
and it'll make sense.
Yeah. Well, also I think you're ahead of me
Hmm.
in the idea that you've raised a kid in the age that I have my child, right?
Yes.
And you've been through it. And
Have a
you're
little bit of experience. Yeah.
well, one thing I've always mentioned this, and I think I mentioned this when we had coffee last time,
Mhm.
about being jealous of people that had kids early because like they're basically getting like their second chance.
Our second coming.
Yeah. Because their
Yeah.
kids, their kids.
I didn't realize that till you told me that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit, that's true.
Yeah, that freedom that you wanted you earned it.
Yeah.
And you have enough time and energy to do it, because when I do it, I'm going to almost be 60. I don't think I'm going to be, I don't know how I'm going to be, but I can guess,
Yeah, I've gotten to play basketball with my son,
Yeah.
you know, and have my knees,
Right. Yeah.
even though they're starting to hurt like
Yeah,
pretty bad.
absolutely.
But yeah, like him, like us playing scrimmages with other people and him
Yeah.
seeing me ball, and
Yeah.
that's cool. But also, like you said, the second coming, kind of like being able to get back into our passions because our kid's old enough to have his own passions. And now I'm able to start thinking about like, hey, what do I want to do creatively again? Like,
Yeah.
oh wait, I could actually work on that carpentry thing and a little bit of painting in there, and it's possible again.
Go back to the studio.
Yeah.
Start a new venture. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know, be an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A different purpose.
Right.
I mean, you'll always be a dad, and you always want to be a dad,
absolutely.
obviously. But you have more time to give a different purpose.
Yes, and
some
I also
love.
think that business is another baby, though.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just like it's always needing something. It always needs you. So yeah, I always felt like I had two kids, you know, the baby and the business. And I think now it's still there, but I'm hoping that some of that experience that I can draw on from, 12 plus years of dabbling in business makes me more confident in pulling the trigger on things.
Right.
On what because I've made some terrible mistakes, stuff that I, felt so bad about having to put my family through financially because of in business, just taking risks. So
Right.
I've learned to listen more and not be hasty in my decisions, and just, consult others first and see what they think about it, and realize I don't have to pull the trigger now. I can wait on that great idea that I think is so great in my head and pull the trigger on it in a month if I still like it.
Right.
And a lot of times I don't end up liking it. So I'm like, oof, good thing I didn't pull the trigger.
Dodged a bullet.
Yes. Because I remember I bought a freaking DTG machine at one point. Dude, like 25 grand.
What is a DTG machine?
Direct to garment. So I'm a screen printer, but I was like, hey, if I could get a direct to garment one going on the side, I can print like multiple full color shirts every day for friends and bands and people who just want to do like eclectic side projects and release those all the time. But the maintenance was insane. I was just, it's just like clogged print heads and waste ink to unclog the print head, and it was a nightmare. I ended up selling it for $4,000 after paying all that money to have it. So that almost closed us as a business, even though that wasn't directly related to the gallery, that was related to my printing side of things.
Right.
And that was a bad call on my part, and I'm glad we made it through that. Yeah, that was a toughie, but should have just stuck to screen printing.
I mean,
or got an embroidery machine. I don't know. Something that's tried and true.
Right. But also that's creativity, and that's also taking chance.
Yeah.
No risk, no reward, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was good. No, but now look at you. Open
Yeah.
gallery, killing it. I think it's great. It's a
Thank
cool
you.
place, man. It's a really cool place.
We're figuring it out.
Right.
It's a lot of figure it out mode all the time. Right. Just how do you make money from exhibitions? It costs money to put on shows, and how do you keep that overhead down? Because, you want to sell some pieces, but you don't want to barely break even every single time, which we've been doing in the past. And it's like, hey, we spend 2 months on a show and then we make zero profit. And the reward has been the passion, fulfilling the passion side of things, and in our checking off boxes of like, at least the community's here. At least we all get to hang out. At least we make memories. But you have to make sure that's sustainable.
Right.
And we have to make sure we're growing, because it sucks. But if you're not growing, you're failing. You're declining. Mm-hmm. So it's like keeping that foot on the gas and like we were talking about, wearing all the hats. Mm-hmm. Being the guy who's coming up with the future projections and visions, and then executing on that and laying out the plan of what it looks like each step of the way, and then being on the cutting room floor, make sure everything's getting delivered on time. It's intense, but I think what keeps me excited is for sure the passion, the creativity, and being able to work with like-minded folks like yourself. Like, this is so cool to be here chatting about being creative and being a dad. Like, well, I would have never thought of that. And people who have put in all their sweat equity and tears and time and energy into creating their own platforms, who have bigger visions. And if we can, unite those platforms and those visions and create projects that can take on lives of their own, that's the dream. That's the dream. Yeah. And hopefully those projects are, impactful for the community, and they bring more good energy into the world, because there's so much freaking static and noise in the world, and we're always being fed all this drama and negativity, and it's just like, I'm doing my best to fight the good fight and like approach it from the other angle.
I think you're doing well though, man.
Thanks,
man. I think you're killing it. I think if those are your goals, I think you're nailing it.
What?
And it's evolving.
Interesting.
It's evolving.
Okay.
It's really cool, man. Thank you for being on the pod, dude. I appreciate the conversation.
Absolutely, man.
But before we go,
yes,
one last thing.
Okay.
This is like a documentary in a sense, right? Usually I like to have these. I hope this lives forever on YouTube or podcast or platforms. Eventually I want your kid to find this.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
So before we go, I need you to leave your kid a message.
What?
Whatever you feel like you want to leave them, any advice or anything that you feel like you want to tell them, do it right here. And you don't have to look at this camera, but this is the one that's going to be going. So, for Dylan, dude, whatever you'd like to add.
Wing it. Yeah. Yo, Dylan, what's up? Super proud of you, buddy. Come a long way. Gosh, I'm getting emotional. Congrats on everything you've been through, all the challenges. It's tough. Life always has its way of like, when you think things are going smoothly, it's like, hey, you forgot about this. But that's normal. Let that pass. I mean, let it, let anything that hurt for a little bit. Let it run its course. And then keep on looking, keep on staring into that future vision of what you want to see, what you want the world to look like, what you want to hear, who you want to be around. Be around good people. That's one of the most important things. Find some good spirits out there. They're out there. Sometimes it's challenging to find them, but just lock in with them. Lock in with yourself. Don't be afraid of quiet time. Let your mind chill. Laugh as much and often as you can. Enjoy the heck out of it. And be proud of yourself all the time. Don't overthink things, and we love you, bud. You got this.
That was good, man.
Yeah.
Good for you. I think you made
dude.
it through without crying.
Oof.
I think you're the first one that I didn't make cry.
There was an honorary tear in there, there at the end.
I don't know if I'll count it.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
Yeah.
But dude, no, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for opening up the gallery for us.
Dude, anytime.
And the coffee, of course.
Of course. Yeah. There's so much we didn't even chat about, but I'm stoked to have had a moment to chat about like any of this.
Awesome, man.
Appreciate you.
We'll do this again. Don't worry.
Right on.
I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
What a privilege it was to be with Artos in the space he and his wife rebuilt. Special thank you to Liz and Dylan for sparing some of Daddy's time with us. Make sure to step back an episode to catch the first half of this creative combo. Like, subscribe, and follow. We are at The Creative Dad Pod on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I'm your host, Adrian Huerta, and you're listening to The Creative Dad Pod, a podcast of Cali Bear LLC.